guys, how's it going? So today we're gonna harvest some pumpkins and squash, whichever ones are ready out here. I don't think all of them are, but some of them are, and I really want to start using them and start getting some into storage. So we did get them in the ground a little bit sooner this year than we did last year. I counted back, it's been 114 days since I planted the seeds, and you can find winter squash and pumpkin varieties that fall within like the 75 to maybe 130 day maturity range there, depending on what variety. So I know I've got some pumpkins that are still dark green, they haven't colored up yet, but some look great. So it's gonna be a little bit hit and miss. Quick look at the patch. You can see it's like 50-50 looking okay. Some of the leaves and vines look okay, and some of them got hit by a couple of cold nights that we had, 37 and 39 degrees. So it just kind of turned the vines or leaves black and made them wilt, which was a little bit nice because then I could see what was going on in there. Through the whole season, the leaf canopy has been so thick, I couldn't even tell if we had anything growing in terms of fruit, except for a couple of them that were out on the pathway. Let's get in here and go over the indicators to tell us whether or not our pumpkins are even ready to be picked. So how to tell when they are ripe. First off, color. That's the biggest indicator because you can see just by a quick glance whether or not it looks like it's ready. So if you planted an orange pumpkin, does it look uniform in color? Is there still a lot of green, or is it all the way green? If so, it's probably not ripe yet. The other thing is the rind. You can kind of tell just by squeezing it a little bit if the rind is toughened up enough. You can take your fingernail and try to push it into the rind. If your fingernail can't get into the rind, then you know it's ready. If it easily gets in there and makes a mark, probably give it a little more time. And then also the stem. So when a pumpkin is not quite ready, the stem will be a lot more like squishy, I guess, and lighter in color. When they are ready, the stems turn a darker color and they're much more firm and woody. So like this one, ready. This one is also ready. Look at the stem on that one. Looks really good. And if your pumpkins and squash aren't quite ready yet, but your vines still look like they have some life, I would go ahead and just leave them on the vines and see if you can get them to that right maturity, because if you're trying to store them or even using them in decoration applications, they will last so much longer if you pick them at the right stage. Okay, so now we're just gonna harvest. What I'm gonna do is just pick what's ready. We'll make little piles in the walkway here, kind of like we did last year. It won't be a full-on harvest just because, like I said, I don't think all of them are ready, but I think we'll get some really fun stuff today. And Benjamin said he was gonna come out and help me as well. Also, if you've never picked pumpkins or squash before, it is very handy to have a pair of pruners because those stems can be really tough. So we'll get in here. Oh, look at how cute that is. I'm actually breaking in a brand new pair of Felco 2s today. I love it. We've already picked maybe, I don't know, just a small handful from this area that we've used up by the house. So it'll be fun to kind of amp that up. And then I know I'm going to take a bunch out to my parents' house, and then we'll store a bunch and then I'll give the rest away. That's the plan. We won't have quite as many this year as compared to last year anyway, because last year I planted 48 hills of pumpkins and squash, and this year it was 30 or 31 hills. So anyway, still fun. Super excited. Let's get into it. right guys, quick update. This is so exciting. I thought that we would have so much less this year just because we have 18 less hills, but we picked 350 roughly. I haven't done an exact count yet, but roughly 350 today, and there's between 100 and 200 still left out in this patch. I don't even know how that's even possible. I mean, I do have a few really prolific ones, like the little pumpkins, a Casperita pumpkin. It's a white one. Tons came off of one plant. There was an experimental 898 butternut squash that had a bunch as well, so those kind of upped the count a little bit. But I think what I want to do, because I just have them scattered all the way around the perimeter of the pumpkin patch, I want to bring them all up front, line them up, and then we'll take a look. 352. That's what's sitting here right now, and I don't even know how many more exactly are sitting out here in this patch still, just waiting to ripen up a little bit more. But I am thrilled. Beautiful selection this year. So I'm going to walk through what we've got. I don't have a name for every single one, but if I find it in my list, I'm sure I can find my planting list. We'll throw it up on the screen. But we'll start right here, the sugar pie pumpkins. This came off of 2 separate hills right here, so a whole bunch. These are really great for cooking, and they're really good storage. In fact, my sugar pie pumpkins from last year were the longest storing that we had. The other ones right here that look fairly similar but taller, you can see I went ahead and picked some that still had some green on the skin, and it's because the vines looked horrible. I don't think there was any life left in the vine, so I went ahead and picked them. But these are the ones I put in the place of the honeydew melon that broke off in a windstorm. So this was planted very late. These are usually noted for their long kind of curvy stems, and they're just kind of a nice small size pumpkin. These right here, I think these are the strawberry crown. I might be wrong on that. And I've got more that just are not ready. Like you can see, this one was like pushing the limit on being ready. These are ready right here. That one needed to deepen a little bit more in color. Butternuts, tons of butternuts. This one's called butterscotch. Some of them are massive. And then I got a couple of little guys in there. But look at this. Look at how beautiful these are. I mean, these are good size butternut right there. Then we've got luminas, which did great. This was one hill that produced these, and usually in each hill I plant 5 seeds and I don't thin them. I just let them go. So we've got that. Now this is a new and very interesting one, I think. Well, it's new to me anyway. It's called Winter Luxury. So we've got the orange pumpkin, but it's got this kind of white silver overlay on the rind. I think it's the most beautiful thing. It almost looks like they're sugared or frosted somehow. Love them. Those look like they should be Turk's turban, but they're not. Like, I don't even know what vine these belong to, but that's like Turk's turban-esque shape right there with the weird color. Got to do a little looking into that one. I've actually got a couple of piles, this one and that one, of a variety called Hot Chocolate. I actually bought the seeds on Etsy after I saw, I think they were advertised to me on some, like probably Facebook or something. I don't know, they totally suckered me in, but I'm so glad they did. This was one hill's worth of pumpkins. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 21 pumpkins on one from one hill, which is amazing. Then we've got speckled hound. I don't think all of these are speckled hounds. This kind of looks like it's supposed to be a speckled hound right now, right there. I don't know, so many of the vines were so intertwined that I couldn't tell on some of them. Like, this is different from that one for sure. I don't know. They're all pretty. And this is an acorn squash called Tip Top. Really pretty. They're perfect. Perfect. Look at that. And big. Then we've got a ton of honey nut butternut squash. This was my favorite from last year. I do have a lot more than this just sitting out there still. These had the best color on them though, but these are known to be smaller butternuts. I think they're the sweetest I have ever tasted. So good, and I think they're really pretty too. I don't know what that one is. I accidentally picked it. I was trying to move it out of the way to get a different one, and it snapped off the vine, so we'll see. There's a closer look at the hot chocolates. These are so cool. These are, I'll put the name on the screen so that I don't butcher it. Aren't they the coolest looking squash ever? Now, I grew these last year, but they looked nothing like this. These look amazing. I only planted one hill, and I just think they're so interesting to look at. And supposedly they are very good to eat as well. We'll have to try that out. Then we've got Jack B. Little pumpkins right here, and a little white one called Casperita. One plant, you guys. Isn't that crazy? It's amazing. And then a white pumpkin, I'm not sure the name of, we'll put it on the screen, but very pretty and dense. These are heavy. Then we've got some flat stackers. That's all I got this year. I thought that there was going to be more than that, honestly. Last year I got way more than just 2, but I think I planted multiple hills last year. Long Island cheese. I don't know if that's considered a pumpkin or a squash, but beautiful nonetheless. And then we've got the autumn crown here, which looks very similar. I really like the kind of beige tan color of these pumpkins. They're really versatile to use because you can use them in like a more of a white display or right in the traditional oranges, and they look really pretty. And then this is a butternut squash, one hill, called 898 Experimental Squash. One of you guys sent me the seeds for this, and holy moly, look at that. So I don't know anything about the flavor, how they're gonna taste. Kind of medium size. We got one little itty bitty one right there. Had I known, I should have cut that and used it in a flower arrangement, like kept it on the vine. That would have been super cute. I've done that before. Autumn frost pumpkins, I left the majority of these on the vine because I really want them to color up more like this. So I just took the ones off of a vine that had shriveled up, but the rest of the plant looked really good, and there are a ton left out there. Then we've got sweet meat and Jarradelle squash right here. Beautiful, dense, heavy, and easy to keep. And then we've got a mixture of Howden and Connecticut Field right out here. Again, kind of the same story with the ones that are green. Not quite 100% mature, but the vines were just about done. And we actually have quite a bit of aphid action out here, and I did not realize it. And they're just getting ravaged by aphids, and anyway, we decided just to go ahead and pick them. That way we can use them. It's funny because here I was thinking, you know, we might get maybe a little over half of what we got last year just because we reduced the amount of hills. And I think we're looking at having close to the same amount that we ended up with. So I think in the end it was like 530 was the count I got off of the pumpkins and squash. So we're sitting at 352. That doesn't include the ones I've already picked. So that's 2, 3, 4, so 356. 357 is what I've picked. And then whatever else is left out here. So while I don't think we'll have 530 in the end, I think we'll be really close to that. And I kind of did that same thing last year. We came through and did a big harvest, and then I went through later and harvested a little bit more that had ripened. The great thing about today, like I found a lot of aphids. I found one of the hills had squash bugs. That was it that I ran into today. But no black widows. Last year, the black widows were thick. In fact, when Benjamin was coming out here, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know. I like made him have pants on and closed-toed shoes to walk around in the vines because I just didn't know what we were going to run into. And I didn't run into a single black widow, which is great. I don't mind them being out here. I just, you know, don't want them to be on a pumpkin that I'm grabbing. So this is what's left of our vines. I will show you or post a picture or something when I harvest the rest so we can get a total count in the end. I'm not going to weigh these because that's just a lot of work. I think a count is good enough. So that's pretty much it for today's video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed seeing all of these things come out of this space. Erin was actually like scheming with me on how we could make our vine crop production even bigger next year. I'm thinking, oh my mercy. So who knows? We may have vine crops in this space next year. We may have them spread out all over the place. I'm just not sure. But I hope you guys are enjoying your day, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.